The day Dakota Johnson appeared with her baby, Chris Martin's unexpected return stunned the world. The moment the world held its breath. The crowd outside the Los Angeles charity event that afternoon was calm, until the black car door opened. Out stepped Dakota Johnson, radiant in a soft ivory dress, holding a tiny baby wrapped in a pastel blanket. For months, the public had speculated about her pregnancy. Now, she was there, serene, smiling, and stronger than ever. No publicist, no bodyguards forming a wall. Just a mother introducing her child to the world. Cameras flashed like lightning. Within minutes, the photo had gone viral. Dakota Johnson's first public appearance with her baby melts hearts. But what truly set social media on fire came minutes later, when Chris Martin appeared at the same event. The shocking reunion. No one expected it. Chris, dressed in his usual simple black shirt and blue jeans, quietly entered through a side entrance. Yet within seconds, everyone noticed, especially when he walked directly toward Dakota. Witnesses described the moment as surreal, calm, and deeply emotional. Dakota looked up, slightly startled but not afraid. Their eyes met. For a moment, time seemed to stop. Then Chris smiled, the kind of small, genuine smile that only two people with history can share. He leaned closer, whispered something only she could hear. Dakota nodded, then gently placed the baby's hand into his. It was the quietest, most powerful scene we've seen in Hollywood all year, one attendee said. No drama, no show, just love, acceptance, and peace. The hidden truth about the past months. Sources close to both stars later revealed that Chris had known about the baby for some time, long before Dakota's public appearance. After Jamie Dornan's explosive denial, the two had slowly reconnected through private conversations. It wasn't about rekindling romance, a mutual friend said. It was about respect, closure, and maybe something deeper. Chris reportedly supported Dakota during the last months of her pregnancy from a distance. He sent flowers, visited quietly, and made sure she had whatever she needed, without the world knowing. He wanted her to heal first, said one insider. He didn't care what the tabloids said. He only cared that she was okay. The first words. When a reporter gently asked Chris about the baby that day, he smiled shyly and said, "She's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm just happy to be here." He didn't confirm or deny fatherhood, but his tone said enough. The internet exploded again. Chris Martin breaks his silence, the look that says it all. Dakota and Chris reunited for the baby's first appearance. Meanwhile, Jamie Dornan, now in Belfast for filming, was reportedly told about the reunion just minutes before the photos went public. His response was simple. He smiled and said to a crew member, "Good for her. She deserves peace. A new kind of love." Dakota later sat down for a brief, emotional interview with Vanity Fair, her first since giving birth. When asked about that moment with Chris, she said softly, "Some bonds don't end, they just change shape. We've both made mistakes, we've both grown. But we share something now that goes beyond everything else." The interviewer asked if she and Chris were together again. She smiled and replied, "We're not labeling anything, we're just being a family in our own way." Her words melted hearts. Hollywood, so used to drama and division, was witnessing something rare, forgiveness. The internet's reaction. Within hours, social media turned into a sea of emotion. Fans flooded platforms with messages of support. This is what maturity looks like. Chris and Dakota, no revenge, no hate, just peace. Jamie told the truth, Dakota embraced it, Chris stood by her. This is how grown-ups handle life. Even celebrities joined in. Emma Stone commented, "Proud of you, my brave friend." Gwyneth Paltrow, Chris's ex-wife, reportedly sent Dakota a congratulatory text that read, "Welcome to motherhood, it changes everything." Jamie Dornan's confession. A few days later, Jamie appeared on a late-night show promoting his film. Inevitably, the host brought up Dakota's baby and the reunion with Chris. Jamie's expression softened. He chuckled quietly and said, "It's strange how people think everything has to end badly. Sometimes the best thing you can do for someone you care about is let them find their happiness, even if it's not with you." The audience applauded warmly. For the first time, there was no tension, only understanding. "I'll always be happy for Dakota," Jamie continued. "We shared something beautiful once. Now she's writing a new story, and I wish her every joy in it." That moment earned him standing ovations online. Headlines read, "Jamie Dornan's graceful response leaves the world in tears." The private family moment. Weeks later, paparazzi caught photos of Dakota and Chris walking through a park in Malibu, baby stroller between them, sunlight glinting off the waves. Chris pushed the stroller while Dakota held his arm, laughing at something he said. A witness described them as peaceful, like two people who had finally stopped running. "They looked like a family," the onlooker said. "Not a perfect one, but a real one." When asked by fans later, Dakota didn't deny it. "We're just living day by day," she said. "That's enough." The return to music. Inspired by everything that happened, Chris Martin began writing again, and soon Coldplay released a surprise single titled "New Light." The lyrics spoke of second chances, quiet forgiveness, and holding life in your arms. Critics called it one of the most emotional songs of his career. Fans immediately drew connections. This is his song for Dakota and the baby. When asked about the inspiration behind it, Chris smiled. "Every new beginning deserves a melody." Dakota's piece. Dakota, meanwhile, stepped away from film sets for a while, dedicating herself to motherhood. She was seen spending mornings walking along the beach, afternoons reading scripts while her baby slept. In an interview months later, she said, "I used to think silence was a weakness. Now I know it's where the truth lives." She didn't mention Chris by name, but she didn't need to. Everyone knew. A quiet night in Malibu. One night, a paparazzi drone captured something breathtaking. Chris, sitting outside Dakota's home, strumming his guitar while she rocked the baby on the porch. The moonlight reflected on both of them. He sang softly, barely audible, but fans identified the song, "Yellow." "Look at the stars, look how they shine for you." It was the same song he had written long before, now reborn with new meaning. Within hours, the photo trended worldwide under the hashtag #FullCircleLove. Hollywood's final verdict. Entertainment journalists, usually harsh, wrote unusually tender headlines. Dakota Johnson's quiet strength has redefined modern Hollywood motherhood. Chris Martin's redemption song, "Love doesn't always end, it evolves." A famous columnist summed it up beautifully. Dakota, Jamie, and Chris gave us a trilogy about truth, heartbreak, and grace. It wasn't a scandal, it was a lesson in humanity. Epilogue. The three of them. Months later, fate brought all three, Dakota, Chris, and Jamie, to the same charity gala in London. No tension, no awkwardness. Jamie greeted Chris with a handshake. Dakota smiled at both of them. The cameras captured that brief but meaningful moment. Three people once tangled in rumors, now standing in peace. A journalist whispered, "It's the most mature ending Hollywood's ever seen." Dakota's final words. Later that evening, Dakota gave a small speech at the event. Holding the microphone with her signature grace, she said, "Sometimes life gives us storms so that we can learn how to find calm. I've learned that truth doesn't destroy love, it refines it. And sometimes, it brings the right people back in unexpected ways." The audience rose to their feet, applauding for minutes. Chris wiped a tear discreetly. Jamie smiled from his table. It was the perfect ending, or perhaps the perfect new beginning. The last scene. As the night ended, Chris and Dakota were seen leaving together, baby in her arms, his hand protectively on her back. A reporter asked, "Chris, is this a reunion?" He smiled, looking down at Dakota and the baby. "I'd say, it's a continuation." The next morning, the world woke up to a single headline that summed it all up. Crescent Moon, Dakota Johnson and Chris Martin. From silence to harmony. Love finds its way back.